Hey everyone, so I'm sitting in the brand new Mazda 3. This is definitely a car that's on the short list for me as a potential replacement for the Fiesta ST because it's one of the only hatchbacks still around. It's also a Mazda, which means you're going to get all the zoom and emphasis on driver excitement that you'd expect from Mazda, except for you're going to get it into a small hatchback. And it's also, actually, it's a quite beautiful looking car too. Just kind of getting some interior details here. You can see all the stitching all around the instrument panel. It's got a small little screen up here, touch screen, that doesn't look like it's, you know, overbearing or kind of too much front and center. It's kind of a little bit more subdued. It's got actual knobs that you can you know, touch and push buttons with rather than being all touch screen. Got push to start button. Of course, this one is an automatic. Looks like it does have the flappy paddles. You can see him here, so it's got like a manual mode. I don't know if it comes with a manual transmission. I was hoping to try to find somebody to talk to get more specs on the vehicle, because a manual transmission would obviously have to be a must for me. But this car looks absolutely stunning in this red. We'll take a trip outside here and show you the exterior. We just want to show you some of the interior details. You can see the steering wheel is very much driver-centered. It's got this nice little nub here. You got great support for your thumb, and for your hand, it's got a nice feel to it. You got nice buttons you can easily reach with your thumb. They're on both sides. The controls for the wiper and turn signal are very similar to Ford, where you got the you know, just right up down type motion with your finger. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. It's got Bose speakers. Boy, I tell you, really, the interior is really nice. But one of the things that always comes up when you talk about the new Mazda 3 is rear visibility. So I'm actually going to show you from the driver's perspective what the mirror looks like. See, oh, you got my phone in there. It's, yeah, you got a bright orange Miata behind there, and I tell you, that window is pretty small, and that C-pillar is pretty big. Let's take a zoom around here. Let's take a look. All right, sorry, it's gonna get a little shaky here to do this. So yeah, you can see there's the C-pillar. It's massive. So I do worry that there is a little bit of a blind spot, and that's looking straight out the back right now. So if you're backing up without a camera, boy, that would be a little tough. You can see the other C-pillar there. So that might be a little bit of a concern, but if you ever watch Gumball Rally, you know that what is behind you doesn't matter, so it shouldn't be a concern anyway. Let's take a trip outside and take a look at the Mazda 3's exterior. All right, so you got this beautiful red paint that Mazda uses on the show car. I don't know if it's a production color or not. I hope it will be. You got the bright, high gloss B-pillar here that just really kind of classes up the vehicle instead of that cheap plastic. You got a lot of really nice intricate details around the mirror. We'll kind of take a step back so you can really see the Miata, or sorry, looking at the Miata in the background here, the Mazda 3. This is just an absolute beautiful car. I find it interesting, no fog lamps or anything up front. The front is a very much grille-centered design. You got the LED rings around the headlights, but that grille really takes a front and center stage on the Mazda 3, which is really kind of true for a lot of the Mazda products. I think the Miata may have the smallest grille out of everything they make. Here you get a good side view of it. You can see that gigantic C-pillar, but I actually seem to like that design a lot. I don't really mind it one bit. I think it has kind of a really neat look to it that's unique to the Mazda 3. Kind of reminds me of maybe some of the Alfa Romeo hatchbacks in Europe, and I think that's just a great design to use. Got a lot of body sculpting. You can really see how the color shifts with the light as you move back through here. You get a good idea of how much sculpting is on the exterior of the car. Coming around the back, you got these really beautiful taillights, bright black, high gloss finish around the rear lower bumper. You got the rings around the taillights. You got the LED lights inside there for turn signal, as well as the reverse lights. Dual exhaust tips, and from what I can tell, they actually are real exhaust tips, not just a styling add-on that you're seeing so many people do nowadays. It looks absolutely ridiculous. Rear view camera down mounted low. I can imagine that in the winter is going to be an absolute mess to keep clean. Let's take a look underneath here once. Well, doesn't look like we can get into it today. Yesterday I could get it open. Today I guess you can't, so I can't show you the back. But you can see the rear window looks pretty big, but there's actually quite a bit of black kind of paint that limits the amount of visibility out the back. But I don't see it being a showstopper for me at all. In fact, I think the design of the Mazda 3 is just absolutely beautiful. And as much as I never said I would own a red car, I would own a red Mazda 3 if it came in this color. I think it looks absolutely stunning. The color is just unbelievably beautiful when you see it in person. So that wraps up the review of the Mazda 3. And like I said, it's definitely a car that's on my short list as a replacement for the Fiesta ST. I don't think it's going to have nearly the power and performance that my ST has. And of course, I don't know if it has a manual gearbox yet. So those are a few things we got to try to double check and look over before we can kind of make a decision on what do I do next. But man, from a styling standpoint, I would say that the new Mazda 3 is definitely a beautiful, beautiful hatchback.